Why I would never use a financial advisor. I'm going to let it loose right now and tell you why I believe financial advisors will only take your money and not give you any return that you could have gotten on your own. I am not a fan of financial advisors whatsoever. They drive me insane, and I see so many people get bamboozled going with these financial advisors who know nothing about really what they're doing, and they do what you could do yourself. So, little disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. This is my personal opinion, and I have the right to unload my personal opinion on this industry because I believe it's a scam. So, financial advisors, first off, this is what I always say about financial advisors, and financial advisors don't like this. The financial advisor that would be good for you, that would make you more money than you could make on yourself, you can't afford. And he doesn't want your money, or she doesn't want your money, because they deal with billionaires. So the little guy with the office suite around the corner who can barely pay his bills, don't give him your money. Okay? I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, why I don't like financial advisors. Number one, there is a story by Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett said, I will give I think it was $1 billion. I will give $1 billion to any hedge fund, mutual fund that can outperform the S&P 500 by picking stocks that can outperform the S&P 500. And whoever can do that for 10 consecutive years, that means they have to outperform it 10 straight years, I'll give the $1 billion to. Nobody has completed that challenge. One person went 3 years and they failed. I believe that's the story. So financial advisors, S&P 500. What's the S&P 500? S&P 500 is an index fund of the top 500 stocks. You put your money in the fund. It basically buys up the 500 stocks. It's a very low-cost index fund. It's like usually 0.05% cost. Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab all have these funds. Very low cost. Super low cost. Financial advisors usually take anywhere from like 1% of your money for managing it. Some of them are fee only. I get it. Doesn't matter. Again, they have to outperform the S&P 500. From Warren Buffett's standard and from the standards that I've looked up, it's very hard for financial advisors picking stocks to outperform the market from the S&P 500. So from my perspective, I'm paying you 1% compounded year over year to not outperform the S&P 500 when I could put my money in the S&P 500 and have no percent taken away. So I'm probably losing 2 to 3% a year by using you. And then you're going to show me this big fancy pamphlet about how awesome your company is, how you've done this and that, and we've been around for 200 years. And before I was a financial advisor, I sold used cars. And it's like, you know what, dude? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing the spiel. They knock on your door knock, and it's like, dude, you know nothing about finance. You passed a test that does not literally give you the right to go take old people's money and basically bamboozle them from making less money than they could if they managed it themselves. So who's to blame here? It's not really to blame the financial advisors. It's a lack of knowledge. It's a lack of knowledge everywhere, man. You want to start a business and you pay some guru online, some influencer. People always accuse me, oh, you're an influencer, you sell online courses. Go check my profile. I don't sell any courses, okay? I provide content, videos on my page for free. So if you want to listen, subscribe, okay? So if you have a lack of knowledge, then yes, you're going to get bamboozled by some financial advisor who dresses in a suit that he bought from Men's Warehouse, rolling up to your house, telling you how he's going to make you so much money, how he's going to help you retire with tons of money in the bank. And he's going to do his spiel about how the company's been around for 150 years. If you get bamboozled by that and you haven't done your own independent research to manage your own finances, which you can control and which you can manage and balance your portfolio yourself, it's really easy to do. And if you've made a lot of money in your life, you're probably pretty successful at something. That means you were successful at running a business. You were successful at maybe being a great employee. If you're that successful, you should be smart enough to figure out how to manage your own money and not turn it over to some guy who is going to constantly tell you to never take it out because he continues to get his fee. Okay? So what I'm trying to tell you is there's a lack of knowledge when it comes to people getting pushed into these scenarios. Again, a financial advisor, I think, first off, an accountant or a CPA, somebody who does your taxes, can really kind of give you a little bit of advice financially. Read some books. I got a book here by Tony Robbins, Unshakable. This is the book that I first read that I learned about how the S&P 500 outperformed 99.9% of mutual funds. Outperformed it. You have Dave Ramsey's book, different people, The Millionaire Next Door. I mean, I have different financial books that I won't put behind me, but you can learn so much by just doing your own research when you care. So this is why I don't use financial advisors, because I think it's a freaking scam. I think they're not providing you returns, and quite frankly, the person who owns the little franchise with maybe a name that's familiar to mine, if you know what I mean. Maybe that company is more there for sales, and then somebody in the background's taking all that money, putting it in a fund that's similar to the S&P 500, and they're taking their 1% fee. I don't know. It's just my opinion. But what I do know is that I'm not going to waste my money and turn my hard-earned cash to somebody who was selling used cars 2 years later. Go look up the job requirements to become one of these at these big institutions, and you'll see that the bar is set pretty low. Unless you're getting advice from Goldman Sachs, which if you are, that means you have hundreds of millions of dollars. And if you aren't, you probably should look at the job requirements for your financial advisor, and you're going to notice that it's pretty low. So I don't know, when I spend my hard time, my businesses that flourish, and I'm making a lot of money, guess what? I am not turning that over to anybody else so they can go squander it and make their little 1% fee. I don't know about you, but that's what I think. So if you like today's video, hit like and subscribe.